So taking the time to take care. And as you do, take a moment to fully arrive here. To fully arrive in this body. Take a moment to notice, where is the body coming into contact with cushions or mat or floor or bed? And notice as well where it's not in contact. And just offering the moment a body of adjustment if it needs to. There's no forcefulness here. There's no pretending. Have an honest check-in with that body. Does it need anything else in order to let it go for this 30 minutes? And so too, is it possible to take a little peek at any emotions or thoughts that are also joining you right now? It may be enough just to acknowledge them, to notice they're there. Or it may be you need to make an arrangement to come back and look more closely later on, to see what they're trying to say or what they need. But for now, while letting them be present, also letting them step aside as you really come even more deeply into this body on this mat. And this relaxation, this is a time for stillness. It's a time to let that stillness find you, almost as if it's having to catch up with you, or perhaps it's you needing to slow down to find it. A stillness that also brings a quietness amongst the noise, and also a feeling of spaciousness. And to help the body settle down even more, can you bring your attention to your breath, to the movement of your breath? Noticing first of all what it's like this afternoon. What's its rhythm, its pace like? Does the inhale feel stronger, slower, faster, weaker than the exhale? Just for this moment, noticing. This breath that's a constant reminder of the present, of the ebb and flow of life. And when the moment feels right, see if it's possible to make the in-breath a little bit bigger, really using your belly, pushing out your belly to help that breath. And then releasing the breath slowly. Releasing the breath slowly, not with a sneeze. That was Rebecca relaxing in the background. Releasing the breath slowly so that you reach a point where the out-breath becomes twice as long as the in-breath. I'm trusting that you're still breathing and not waiting for my next instruction for the in-breath. So allow your in-breath to be perhaps that little bit fuller than it was before, and then to really slow the out-breath down so that it becomes twice as long as the in-breath. Continuing that process with each out-breath, inviting your whole body and mind to release that little bit more, to relax that little bit more. Reminding the body and mind that right now you are reasonably safe in this moment right now. It may be helpful to slow that out-breath down a little bit more by staggering it. So you may breathe out slightly, pause, breathe out a little bit more and pause, and then breathe out again and pause. So staying with the in-breath and the slower out-breath. So the out-breath is twice as long, and breathing out with pauses if that's helpful to you. There should be no effort and no strain. If you find you're distracted, that's okay. In noticing your distraction, you're actually waking up to the stillness from which that noticing happens. You could also, through this practice, put your hands on your belly if that's helpful, to remind your body to stay still, to slow down. Then let the breath find its own rhythm, its own pace, at ease, without effort. And bring your attention to the whole of your head. And ever so gently, without necessarily even lifting it off the floor, I'd like you just to lift the head slightly in order to feel its weight, and then gently release it. Noticing how the head can trust the ground below it, the cushion, the mat, the blanket. Can it melt into it even further, knowing that it's supported? Can it really meet the force of gravity as fully as possible? The head and the neck releasing any unnecessary tension. Almost like butter melting. Can the muscles on your forehead unravel, unraveling any tension in the forehead and the temples, and the whole area around the eyes, unfurling, releasing, and the cheeks and the nose and the lips, the jaws, releasing, letting go, feeling the weight, this soft weight, this gentle weight. There's nothing this head needs to do right now. And dropping into the collarbones and the shoulders and the arms. Can you again gently lift, almost without lifting them off the floor or the mat, just enough to feel them, and then to release them, sinking into that space around. The whole of the arms, and the hands, the shoulders, the collarbones, releasing that unnecessary tension, letting go of anything they're holding that they don't need to be holding right now. An opening. An opening to being fully present to the world as it is right now. And then bring your attention to the torso and the movement of the breath. Notice how the breath is already gently lifting and then releasing again the torso. Let it continue to do that. And can you pay attention to where your back is touching the floor? And I wonder, is it possible that as you release, is it possible that more of your back gradually becomes in contact with the floor? There's more muscles around the chest and the ribs and the stomach. Let go, unravel, rest, trusting the ground beneath you to hold you safely. This release happening all the way down to the lower back. It's the whole area of the back of the sit bones, the bum cheeks, the hip bones area and the pelvis, all of that area, that waist area. As best as you can, releasing and letting go. Knowing that right now you're safe, in this very moment, secure. There's plenty in this moment. There's nothing more right now that you need. And knowing that there's a sense of connection with the world around you. And gradually that melting feeling moving down your legs, feeling where the legs are in contact with the floor. Is it possible again to gently almost lift the legs just enough to feel their weight and then let them sink into the floor as if they were sinking into a soft sponge. The legs releasing any unnecessary tension. And the top of the thighs all the way down to the feet and toes. Releasing, letting go. Allowing yourself to feel the whole of the body. Feel its weight as it releases. Feel its warmth. Feel it at ease. the body fully at ease. And with the body still at ease, bringing your attention to your toes. Can you feel the space between your toes? If you sense into the toes themselves and the joints of the toes and the balls of the feet, can you sense into the spaciousness within the joints of the toes? It may help to imagine each joint kind of expanding a vacuum. Bring your attention to your ankles. As the body rests, can you sense into the spaciousness within your ankles? Knowing that the world we experience is solid, the majority of which is actually space. Feel the spaciousness of the ankle joints. Letting your attention move to your knees. These knees that carry so much weight. Can you feel the space within them? Can you allow them to open up as if there was a pocket of air expanding from the middle outwards? Sensing the spaciousness of the knees. And the hip sockets. These huge joints. Allowing them also to open up, to feel the spaciousness within them. And as best as you can, moving ever so slowly your attention up your back, vertebrae by vertebrae. Imagine the space within, the opening. Feel the lightness of that space. Vertebrae by vertebrae, taking your time, sensing it as best as you can. Feeling the space within the back joints, all the way up to your lower neck. Into your head, feeling the space of all these joints. And sensing into the shoulders, and feel the spaciousness within the shoulders. So opening up and releasing of the elbows, the wrists, and all the joints of the fingers. How the fingers join the hands, but the joints within the fingers. Can you feel the space? Can you sense the space between the fingers themselves? back up to the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, the top of the neck, to the head. Can you feel the spaciousness around the eyes and the eye sockets, and within the eyes, the space behind the eyes? Sensing the space of the nostrils, the nasal cavity, the back of the throat, the mouth, the spaciousness of the inner ears, the outer ears, and the spaciousness of the throat itself, going down into the lungs as they open and contract. Feeling this body at ease, spacious, rested. Let yourself bathe in this sense of ease, of restfulness, with a couple of minutes of silence. If your mind starts to wander, try and hold that within this spaciousness. Just resting, bathing, nothing to do right now. And as you rest a few minutes longer, sharing these words from Dana Folds, the Weaver and the Loom. Sit here for a bit. Place yourself outside the frenzied pace of life. Slow down long enough to appreciate birds in flight, water drops like prisms in the grass, and countless shades of green. Step off the fast track and listen to the sound of breath and birdsong. Take a moment to just be, and in the being, know the whole of this creation, mystery and madness, passion and profanity. Know it all as one stunning tapestry. Sit still, and the thin line between sacred and profane simply fades away. There's nothing then to reconcile. All the disparate threads are woven on the womb the loom of life. Sit here for a bit, and your unique place in the pattern becomes clear. Take the still point with you when it's time to walk away. Make the choice to see affinity, to watch the picture taking shape as thread joins thread. Dare to be the weaver and the loom, creator and creation, the sower and the sown. In a moment of stillness, all that came before is seen as one. So notice for yourself as we start to move out of this relaxation, how even with those very words, contractions might start to appear in your body as your mind starts to move towards what's next. Do you notice any subtle tensing? Maybe it's not subtle. But gradually, with that awareness of your body, of its contractions, and inviting it to stay with this sense of spacious rest as you move through the day, gently and kindly start to move your feet ever so gently, taking our time to come out of the relaxation. There is no rush. There is no rush. Moving your feet, gently moving your hands. And maybe, if the moment feels right, to open and close your eyes. Just open them for a flash to notice the outside world, and then close them to come back in. And do that 3, 4, 5 times until you feel ready to gently open your eyes. And then starting to move your body a little bit more to bring yourself into the alert state that you need to be in for the rest of your day. But letting that alert state stay with the companion of stillness alongside it and the spaciousness that that brings. There's a quality to bring into the rest of your day, and even with the difficult stuff. So coming out of the relaxation now in your own time. Thank you for joining us.